Color grading has always been very difficult. Ever since I started out, this process was really difficult to learn for me. Even now, the whole process is really tedious, tiresome, and sometimes very complicated, based on different lighting situations. Now, even if you do all those steps and if you watch it on the screen, it's still not very cinematic. So hello everyone, welcome to a new video. For those who don't know me, I'm Fenzer. I do filmmaking, travel and tech content on this channel. So if you're into that sort of stuff, please consider subscribing to this channel. Now let's talk about Dehancer Pro. Now what is Dehancer? It's a really powerful plugin. Now what does it do? Basically it's a film emulation plugin and it makes your color grading process really easy. Now most of us are not professional colorists. We don't know much about the whole grading process that's happening in cinema industry. Now most of us use a digital camera or a mirrorless camera to shoot, or a smartphone to shoot. Now all these are digital cameras. So the issue about digital camera is the image produced by the camera is very digital and you can see digital sharpness around it, and big movie people watching it would understand, okay, this was shot in a digital camera and not in a film camera. Now let's talk about one of the biggest filmmaker, Mr. Christopher Nolan. Now I know most of you guys know him. I mean, it's 2023 and he still uses film camera to shoot all his movies. Because film camera, when generated, it has rich colors and grain and halation. Now I'm going to be talking about one by one what all these are. It can be achieved using digital camera, but again you have to do all those color grading process to do this, and it's time consuming and it's sometimes it gets very complicated. So which is why this tool is useful. So it's a film emulation plugin. So what it does is it converts your digital footage to a film like look, and there's a lot of options which you can tweak and to give that proper film look. The thing about film cameras is that it has something called grain to it. If you watch any Hollywood movies, you can see grain to the footage. Now this can be achieved using digital camera, but you have to download something called grain. You have to add it like an overlay, and it's a big step. But what this tool does is it has an inbuilt grain feature. As soon as you put this plugin, the grain is ready to go, and you can adjust the various setting for the grain as well. And now let's talk about halation. Now what is halation is, if you see any light source like a bulb for example, you can see a glow around the bulb. This also can be achieved, but again a lot of steps in the color grading process. But this very tool has something called halation. So as soon as you enable that, it's ready to go. Now when Dehancer approached me to try out their plugin and do a video about it, I was really on cloud 9. Because I've been seeing other channels and I've already wanted to try out this plugin so badly. Now it's a very powerful plugin, and you would need a decent spec for your PC to run this plugin. And it's quite expensive. It's $449 currently. It works with DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut and Adobe Premiere Pro. So I know it's expensive, but you can use my coupon code FENZ to get additional 10% off if you want to go for it. So when they asked me to do a honest review about it, this is my honest review. I tried out their plugin, so I will tell you all the pros and the cons. Now, talking about the pros, obviously it has more pros than cons. The very first being that it's very easy to use. So even if you're beginners, it's just a couple of clicks. Your digital video is completely converted like a cinematic film. So it's very easy to use. It makes the workflow very easy because you don't have to do all those nodes, add separate grain, halation, and all that separately. You have everything in just one plugin. So it's really powerful and it's really great if you don't have much time to grade your footage, to color grade your footage for a client or so, you can just use their plugin. And I'm really sure the clients are going to be really happy seeing that footage. Now, talking about the pros, yes, as I mentioned earlier, it needs a decent power from your computer to run all this. So it doesn't properly run on a very basic machine, so it gets slow. But if you have a good graphic card and a decent spec for your PC and good RAM specification, it's good to go. Now that's the only cons that I have found. But one more thing that I want to add is, this is my personal opinion. I'm very much used to my workflow. Like, I know what each node does, what each thing does. So I'm very used to it. So I can do it like very fast right now. To switch to that completely, it's not possible for me right now because as I told you, I'm very used with my workflow of node structure and manual color grading. But yes, I would like to try it out more, and maybe one day I would just depend on this because it's really powerful. It has a lot of film emulation. Now, next time, what I want you guys to do is, when you watch movies like Christopher Nolan movies, just look closely to the colors, okay, to the contrast, to the grain, the halation, and you'll get to know why his movies stand out when compared to the other filmmakers. So there are a lot of directors and filmmakers who prefer this method. They prefer film cameras than digital cameras. But very powerful tool like Dehancer with digital camera is equivalent to using a film camera. This is my personal opinion. So I'll be trying it out more in the coming days, and I'll let you know the thoughts about it. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions or anything to know at all, feel free to comment down below. And if you guys want to try it out, they have free trial. But if you want to purchase, you can use my coupon code. I'll leave it in the description as well. You'll have a 10% additional off if you use my code. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys learned something from this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.